Spontaneous speaking video 45. So ironically, the last time while I was up here, I made the video on getting a grip of your emotions. And this time, I'm sort of talking about the same thing. Um, I have so many examples to give on this, but I guess where I would start is, well, have you guys ever just witnessed somebody or just knew someone or some people who, no matter what's going on in their life, whether it's good, bad, neutral, they can find some type of way to almost always twist it and make it be a negative thing? I know a lot of those people. And like I said, I could name so many different examples, but one of the most recent examples that I've come across is, and I'm not trying to like put this person's business out there or anything, so I'm not going to say names. I'm not going to even go too much into detail or into detail at all. I'm just going to say just enough to give y'all the gist of what I'm talking about. But essentially, this person hit me up a few days ago, and at the time while I'm recording this, Hurricane Irma is a big problem. If this is, weeks from now or 10 years from now that you're watching this video, look up Hurricane Irma. It's huge Category 5 hurricane that is supposed to be hitting Florida this weekend. And my prayers go out for those families. Like I've actually worried about quite a lot. I try not to worry about these things too heavily because if so, I'm just gonna stress myself over. So I try to worry like just enough. I pray for them, all of that. But anyway, plus I have friends in Florida. But this person hit me up, sent me an article about Hurricane Irma, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm praying for them, whatever, whatever. This person says that they're headed to Florida that weekend, and they were concerned about that. So I'm like, shoot, and pretty much I told the person that, well, I heard that evacuations are like going on. This is like a day later. I'm like, hey, so update on that. I heard that evacuations are happening or whatever. And the person's like, oh well, I didn't know that, or I haven't heard about that yet, but and my flight hasn't been canceled yet, but I guess I'll keep a lookout for that, etc., etc. Turns out the flight did get canceled later on. The person hit me up saying that last night, like, so my flight got canceled. And I'm thinking that's a good thing, like, yeah, you don't have to go and deal with Hurricane Irma. You get to keep money. I'm just naturally somebody who looks at the glass half full. This person, who I thought was concerned about going to begin with, ended up saying, no, not praise God. I was actually looking forward to having a vacation. I didn't even know how to respond, to be honest. Like, I sent some type of gif of Pikachu patting Caterpie's back, and I just said, "Lo siento, amiga," and that's where the conversation ended. Like, because I literally did not know what to say, and there's also there's always the chance that I could be misinterpreting this, but in my mind, it's just, I guess I'm just not the type of person to ever have easily looked at situations and be able to somehow see the negatives of them. Maybe it's because of my personality type, maybe it's because of my faith in Christ, maybe it's just because of the way that I was brought up, or my actual experiences that I have, but and maybe it's all of the above. But I just feel like, for me, it takes too much energy to look at a situation and find some type of creative way to twist it and make it seem like, oh well, this is a bad situation. Like, in my opinion, like I said, like, for that example, I'm thinking if I was in the person's position, I would have definitely been like, oh wow, great, flight got canceled, so I'm not gonna run the risk of getting hit by Irma or any of the other storms that are going over there. I get to save money. Yeah, it does suck that I won't be able to go to Florida. I've been working. This person works a lot for school, so I understand where the person's coming from to an extent. But I guess, especially since this isn't like the first time with this person, and like I said, I know like many other people like that. I'm not trying to call this person out, and hopefully, if you're watching, you're not like upset or anything. But I just noticed that some people are just so good at victimizing themselves and making themselves seem like they're in the middle of this storm of life and, oh, why does the universe hate me, and things happening to them. And my advice to those people would be to take control, shift your mindset. It may not be as easy as I probably find it to be, but I would advise that y'all start working on shifting your perspective and being more proactive as opposed to reactive. Instead of seeing things as things happening to you and you have like nothing to, like, you can't do anything about it except just get angry and pissed off or whatever the case may be about that, look at the positives. Look at the silver lining of the situation. Look at how God may have probably wanted for that to happen. In Romans 8:28, I always mention this verse, and Proverbs 3:5, 6 to 7, Proverbs chapter 3 verses 5 to 7. Those verses literally talk about like how much God predestines things to happen, and even if they happen, like even if like bad things happen, God uses those bad things to have good things happen from them. We see this from the story of Joseph. We see this from the story of Daniel. We see this even from Jesus. So many biblical characters, people who are even alive today. Like, I really feel like, especially if you're a Christian, you just gotta have some type of faith that may not even make sense to people, and it hopefully will confuse the enemy, God, like the devil, who's probably trying to put you down and keep you in a sour mood and all of that. And all of a sudden you're confusing the devil, because it's like, dang, no matter what the heck I do to this person, they're still happy and they're praising God. I'm bored of this. It's kind of like people in life who just always want to like start drama and they want to get a reaction from you. Stop reacting and be proactive. Or the way that you respond to something, you should use it in a positive light. Now, this doesn't mean that we should never complain, because, what would life be like if Martin Luther King Jr. just like, oh, well, I mean, at least we have a water fountain. It doesn't really matter if, ours is contaminated and this, that, while the white people's got the fancy porcelain ones. No, there's definitely situations where you should complain, where you should get angry, where you should get indignant. But I feel like we always have to also try and be aware of the positives of certain situations as well. And like I said, like there's so many examples. So this video is mainly to encourage all of you to not be a sour, creative person that always somehow finds a way to just shift and make things appear as if they're more negative than they really are. You don't have to be this super crazy optimistic person. I don't see myself as a super crazy optimistic person. I'm definitely optimistic, but like not like a person that ignores the bad things. I definitely look at the bad things that happen in life, but I don't focus on them. And this goes even to the law of attraction. If y'all know about that or not, the law of attraction, basically in basic form, says that whatever you think, whatever type of energy, whatever you like dwell on, that's what's gonna like come around you. So if you're always having positive thoughts, if you're always having like, thoughts of, happiness and just positivity. If you're always exuding positive vibes are gonna come to you. But if you're always exuding negative vibes, it's vibes like Eeyore, oh darn, here we go again. I knew this was gonna happen. My life just always goes wrong. Kind of having this like everybody hates Chris type of attitude. Well, not attitude, like, yeah, like the type of lifestyle, like, you will attract those things to you. And I don't personally like, put too much thinking, or not thinking, but like too much faith in the law of attraction, especially being a Christian and all. I believe that things do happen for a reason and they're in God's sovereign control. God doesn't always cause things to happen, but causes he causes a lot of good things to happen from the bad things that happen. And to get more of understanding from that, I highly recommend that if you haven't seen it already, you watch the movie The Shack. I think that explains things like so well. But this isn't even for that video. My whole message for this video is to be more positive. Look at situations more in a way where you won't feel as if things are happening to you. Be proactive. Take advantage. Don't always be the type of person that says, "Well, it's not my fault," or feel like the locus of control type of concept or framework, where it's like, "Oh man, everything's just happening to me. I don't know what to do." Take control. Man up or woman up, and pray if you have to. Believe that things are happening for a reason, and you are determined to find out, or even if not find out, just determined to believe that. Have a positive mindset, especially if things happen that are out of your control. It's out of your control. Sitting around pouting about it, being upset about it, what is that going to do? You find ways to you just don't sit down and have a pity party for yourself. Like, pep up. It's okay sometimes to go ahead and get crying out of your system or whatever, but when the time comes, it's time to step up, pep up, keep it moving, keep positive vibes. And like I said, that could be easier for some people like me as opposed to others, but I just personally found that to be very helpful in my life. And I found that it becomes a habit. If you continue to force your mind to look at the glass as half full rather than half empty, you're gonna eventually you're gonna eventually grow into the habit of, when things happen to you, you're gonna know how to respond. You're gonna know how to react. You're gonna know how to use those situations to your advantage to keep yourself in a positive mood, in a positive manner. And it's gonna help your overall well-being. So I forgot to delete some things from my iPad from my last video that I recorded and ran out of space. But yeah, I was pretty much already done anyway. I was just going on a roll, going on a rant. I think I pretty much addressed everything that I thought about, Irma, Romans 8:28, shift that creativity to being proactive rather than reactive, the law of attraction, and just take control, refuse to be down. So yeah, like I was just saying, allow that it's gonna help your overall well-being. And I hope that I've been making sense. I try not to speak so much information that it just bubbles around, but hopefully y'all get my whole entire message. Try to keep positive. Don't let things keep you down. So yeah, that's just all that I have to say for today, and I wish you guys the best. Done.